you ever experienced at least one serious breakup in your life? How did it feel to you? It's not an uncommon thing for someone to slip into depression shortly afterwards, so if you have or you did, don't worry about it. You see, at the end of a serious relationship, the period of time afterwards is incredibly important. And if it's not dealt with correctly, it can have huge consequences which will follow you throughout the rest of your life and more than likely into your next relationship. Now, irrelevant who's wrong or who's right, it's hard to see past that person, isn't it? From the experiences you've shared together, to the more recent feelings of hurt, betrayal, anger and humiliation you've probably just suffered. I've seen firsthand the detrimental effects of relationship breakups, and to underestimate the control the other person has on you can be dangerous, yet it's not something you'll be consciously be aware of at the time. They may not have hit or beat you to gain control. It's usually through something more innocent, such as you loving them too much. Ask yourself, would you have stopped at nothing to please them? Did you always put them first? Were you completely selfless towards them? Did you give them everything you had and more? Would you have sacrificed yourself for them? Did you love them unconditionally? If you've answered yes, then they already had the control. However, when that person changes their mind about you, for whatever reason, you'll agree the effects can be traumatic. I understand every relationship and every person is and are different. However, throughout my experience, my research and talking to people, one thing stands out more than most. A person will carry a lot of their past experiences from life, and especially from previous relationships, directly into their next relationship. So what does that mean? If you've suffered hurt and betrayal, you'll be scared to trust again. So no matter what promises are made to you or how much love you get shown, you'll struggle to believe that the person's feelings are genuine and honest. If in your past relationship someone has been violent or aggressive towards you, then you experience kindness and caring. You'll struggle to believe it's real and feel something's wrong. If you've experienced loneliness and disconnection in a previous relationship, then you find someone you connect with and love spending every moment with. It'll feel like it's too good to be true. So it's important you realise whatever your previous experiences, if they haven't been addressed and dealt with, then any negativity from those situations will play a key role in defining your future relationship. Because you will look for something to go wrong. You will not want to risk the pain again. And when you come close to that, you'll find a way out. You'll find a problem with that person. What I want to say to you is this. Do not allow someone to ruin you, only allow them to improve you. I know at the time this would be the hardest thing for you to hear. I really do get it. But that saying, every cloud has a silver lining, could never be so true. So let me tell you a story about my friend. This is a true story, and I'm sure a lot of you will be able to relate to this at certain points. It uncovers the love, pain and despair that both people go through when one person carries feelings from a past relationship and experiences into a new relationship. But don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom. It also shows that you can move forward afterwards, no matter how low, upset or depressed you'd become. So I'll tell this story. He found that special person it felt like he'd been waiting his whole life for. They were both beautiful and looked absolutely stunning together. People would look at them with envy. They both had fantastic characters and personalities to match too. Even I used to look at them sometimes and think, wow, the way they looked at each other with so much admiration for the other was amazing. He told me he used to wake up to her in the morning and hear her say how rough she felt and how tired she looked, but yet he couldn't see a single flaw in her. They were connected. When she felt pain, he felt pain. When she felt sadness, he felt sadness. When she felt happy and joyful, they both felt happy and joyful. It was a relationship which had everything they could possibly want and more. Their future together had been planned and they knew exactly where they were heading and both super excited to get there. Yeah, they had hiccups along the way, but it was no biggie. They were in love and happy. However, 2 days after I'd seen them both, I received a call from my friend asking if he could come over. So I said, yeah, of course you can, mate, come round. He told me his girlfriend had just broken up with him, and obviously I asked, what do you mean broke up? I saw you only the other day and you looked so happy. Maybe it was a question I shouldn't have asked, because what came out was more than I expected to hear. You see, he genuinely loved her, believing the love back was real and was going to last forever, no matter what. He didn't see the signs, but admitted things recently had got difficult between them. Day by day, week by week, he said he'd noticed her behaviour start to change. He said the more in love they became, the more erratic and insecure his partner's behaviour also became. My friend loved her that much, he turned a blind eye to the problems, hoping they'd somehow disappear. Unfortunately for him, he didn't realise he was doomed from the start. This person had a problem way deeper than the both of them. He explained to me the day of the break. It all sounded very messy, with a lot of emotion and a lot of sadness. The reason behind it wasn't cheating or telling lies or violence. It was they couldn't love each other how they wanted. He took a lot of the blame for the person his partner had become, their insecurities, their trust issues, and the paranoia they suffered. He wasn't perfect, but he knew he'd done nothing wrong. So he let it play out. But unbeknown to him, that would be the last time he'd ever speak to her again. At this point, only one of two things could happen. They were going to get back together, address and work through his partner's problems, and live happily ever after. Or two, his partner either didn't know or wasn't ready to deal with their problems, so was going to save themselves. Well, I'm sure you can guess what happened. Yeah, they took the easy option. His partner saved themselves. Their priority was them. When it came to making a choice to acknowledge and face their issues, they ran. Due to their past relationship experience, they were scared of getting their heart broken, and no matter how hard my friend tried to reassure her and promise her things would be okay, it was never going to be enough. You see, his partner was scared of the possible hurt, pain and emotion that comes when you open up your heart and give it to another. However, by their actions, they inflicted exactly what they didn't want to happen to themselves directly onto my friend. He was left holding the hurt, the pain, the emotion, the sadness, the grief. And that is why he was doomed from the start. He felt like he'd been stabbed in the back by the person he loved. Did they not know he loved them unconditionally? Did they not believe his promises to care and look after them no matter what? In the blink of an eye, every memory he had of her, every place they'd visited, every experience they'd shared, every promise they'd made to each other, every holiday they'd been on, meant nothing. It just felt like a sick reminder of everything he had lost. He was heartbroken. He could deal with a heartache, but what he couldn't understand, which affected him the most, was how this person could act against what he believed were true feelings. Now, I'm guessing a lot of you may have been in very similar situations and experienced similar things. The sheer shock of how this could happen to you. So my friend, in the time afterwards, spent hours, days, weeks, months of questioning himself. How am I could this happen? Was it him? Had he done something wrong? Was it them? Were they cheating? Were they not really that interested? How could they say all that stuff and then walk away like it was nothing? Finally, he found his answer. It wasn't because they didn't care or they didn't love him. It was more upsetting. He discovered the underlying factors and reasons why they behaved like they did and couldn't stay in the relationship. He realised they were tormented by their past experiences. He'd made a promise to love that person unconditionally, to help them wherever he could. So he told them what he'd found out. Not to help himself, but to help them. It was a huge mistake, and only brought him more upset and accusations about how he should let it go. You see, unless somebody is open and ready to accept the truth, it's just another opinion they will not want to hear. However, in his search to make things right and help the person he truly loved, he'd neglected himself. Without knowing it, he slipped into deep depression and was suffering badly with anxiety. Weight had dropped off him, sleep was something he'd forgot about, his food didn't taste, and his social life was of no interest to him. He got told to snap out of it more times than he can remember. And for those of you who may have suffered from anxiety or depression, or you know somebody that has, then you already know. There's no snapping out of it. I spoke to him one day, and he said to me, "It feels like my heart stopped beating. I can't feel anything, yet I'm still alive." That statement stuck with me for a long time. And no matter what I said to him or I did, I truly believed there was no way out for him. He had no job at the time. He had no income. He couldn't face living his life anymore. He was completely shattered. He'd just lost his soulmate. Luckily, his drive for answers led him to new ways of finding out and dealing with this experience for himself. And then one day in particular, he called me and he sounded different. He'd come across certain information regarding mental health, which didn't only help him, but gave him a new insight into how to become a better person, a stronger person, and to go forward. He had a new fascination, a new drive, and a new focus. And finally, the focus was back on him. It was at that point he said he wasn't going to be beaten. He wasn't going to let the effects of someone else's behaviour damage him any longer. So every day he tested himself to see if each day could be better than the last. Slowly but surely, every day got better, then better again. He learned to leave the negativity behind and remembered he was a good person. He was intelligent. He was successful. He got his head in the books and carried on learning and researching everything he could. Every single piece of information and knowledge he could get his hands on, he used. He fell to sleep at night listening to documentaries and woke up in the morning with a pen and paper in his hand ready to go. In the first month, he learned to overcome his anxiety, his sadness, and got himself out of his depression. He made the choice to create a definition of himself and who he wanted to be. He'd become confident again. He'd used information about controlling his emotions and behaviour to stop smoking, something which he'd struggled to do for 15 years. He'd found forgiveness for his ex-partner and even had compassion for them. He no longer held them responsible. He understood their actions were outside their control and his control. After 2 months, he passed tests, assessments and interviews and landed himself a job earning more than he'd ever earned in his life. His energy and drive was that focused, he got a promotion before even finishing his training. He actively pursued his interests again, even starting new ones. His connection with his friends was back. Within 3 months, he'd learned a totally new language. Whilst learning the new language, he also pursued his main interest of giving back to others and had set up a business helping other people. So when he wasn't at work, he was actively pursuing that. You see, his ambition had become his addiction. And when you experience ambition as your addiction, you think of the world without a roof. After 4 months, he was fully back on track, thriving more than ever. He was enjoying being the positive person he'd become, living his life graciously. And then, out of nowhere, without even thinking, without even requiring any change, a person walked into his life and connected with him. He had found his equal without even looking for it. They supported him. They cared for him. They were open and honest with him. It was that easy. There's some key lessons to take from that story. Yes, you may struggle afterwards and probably will. You may fall into depression, but you can learn and you can move forward and you can live a better life than before. From losing everything you thought possible, you can go on to gain more than you ever had. So try and use these following points. It'll help you grow stronger than you ever have before and from the weakest position you've probably ever found yourself in before. 1. The grieving process is natural. If you don't allow yourself time to express the emotion or a feeling to a significant event that's just happened, then it's not dealt with. The stronger your emotional connection to the person, the longer it will take. And don't worry if the other person isn't grieving over you. They either didn't have the connection you believed, or more than likely, they've not accepted what's happened or reflected on their actions and behaviour, which leaves them in the same position they left you. Number 2, accept the trauma can trigger depression and anxiety. The more innocent you feel and the more you feel betrayed, the greater the possibility it'll affect you. But realise that 1 in 4 of us will be experiencing a mental health disorder right now, right at this present moment. You're not alone, and it's not uncommon. 3, drink and drugs and the opposite sex aren't the answer. It sounds like a great idea to go and drink with your problems away with your mates, find a new partner. However, this is a temporary fix. You're just delaying your grieving process. Whether it's drinks, drugs, or sex, they will all lead you to feel like you've disrespected yourself. Another person's lust for one night will not truly fill the void of losing someone you genuinely loved and cared about. It will only remind you of what you had with them and have no longer got. Go out and have fun by all means, but don't force any situations and respect yourself. Number 4, speak to the right people. Friends and family may offer you great support, but the chances are they'll tell you everything you want to hear to make you feel better, because that's their job. That is their job. Find someone impartial who will tell you the truth, and if you have to accept some responsibility for your actions, then so be it. It may be hard to hear, but you can move forward with a clear mind and under no illusions. Number 5, don't look back in anger. This is hard to do, but remember, this person had a piece of you in your past, not the person you've now become. Holding on to anger and negative emotions will only hold you back, nobody else. If the other person becomes successful, fantastic. If they choose to blame you, then you can ask yourself why. Because blaming someone else is the easiest way not to acknowledge your own problems. So if you're not responsible and you do get the blame, then they've probably not accepted their issues, and the chances are they won't have made the necessary changes to move forward and will still be living the same old routine life they led before. One day, you'll probably face a person and you'll see an old part of yourself in them. And you'll think, God, thank gosh I'm not that person anymore. They may even apologise to you for their behaviour. If so, thank them. If they hadn't betrayed you or upset you or done whatever they've done, you wouldn't be the stronger person you are today. 6, the truth. If someone's responsible for your breakup and you know what triggered them to act how they acted, do not tell them. Even if you can get it written off and signed by the highest, most powerful person in the world, saying it was their fault, it's all you, do not tell them. No matter what they've done, whether they've abused you, cheated on you, walked out and left you, do not tell them. It will only bring you more heartache and you'll be accused of all sorts, patronising the lot. Why? They need to know, you might ask. Well, finish the sentence. The truth hurts. Exactly, the truth hurts. So the chances they'll accept it are slim. And if it means they'll have to take blame and admit some responsibility, then you will be the last person they'll admit it to. So no matter how correct you may be, as long as you know the truth, accept that and it will allow you to move forward. So that saying, if you know, you know, could never be more fitting. Number 7, find and relate to an inspirational person who suffered from depression or anxiety and whose opinion you respect. Relate to them and understand no matter how strong, famous or successful you may be, everybody can struggle. There's no buying your way out of it. Number 8, define yourself. Like a blank canvas, reinvent the person you want to be and have always desired. Fill yourself up with all the positive attributes. Be loving, be gracious, be humble and ambitious. When you've hit your lowest and reached rock bottom, that is the best place you can start becoming the person you want to be. Because from rock bottom, the only place you can go is up. And the roots and foundations you lay at rock bottom will be strong enough to support and rise you above and beyond any place you've ever been before. So choose the person you want to be and focus all the positive attributes on becoming that person. Number 9, set a goal and achieve it. And once you've achieved it, set a new one. Your success can increase layer after layer after layer. It doesn't have to stop. Positivity only attracts positivity. It doesn't require any extra effort. Each day delivers a new opportunity, so if you stay blinded by the past experiences, you'll never see what the future holds. 10. Believe me when I tell you, you will find love again, and it will be the right love. Don't hold on to that thought that only one person can ever love you, and you can only ever love one person. Some people just don't deserve to have you. It's that simple. And there is somebody waiting around the corner, but you're not going to see them if you keep looking back. Finally, remember, don't allow a person to ruin you, only allow them to improve you. Be the definition of who you want to be and stand by it. What will be said when people say your name? The definition lies in your hands. We all have a story, and it's up to you how you write it.